Welcome back, everybody. We're here to pull cards for the 17th of August. I am going to be pulling one card for overall energy, not energy, and then one card for each sign. And we're going to look at how those energies blend together for our prediction of the day. So, boop-ba-da-doo-doo. We've got a lot going on today as far as energy-wise. These cards are not behaving too well. Today I am using the Hush Tarot. And Hush is the artist, the designer of these cards' last name. It's not really like, let's see what our overall energy is. Boop, ba da doo doo. Boop, boom. Okay, so we have the Hierophant showing up in reverse. Now, Hierophant in reverse can mean a couple of things, and we're going to see how it applies to each sign as we move through the day. But for me, the Hierophant in reverse can mean that we're doing something that is traditional, but we're doing it in a non-traditional sort of way. That can be what's happening here. Now, the other thing that the Hierophant in reverse can mean is it can mean that there's a long-term contract or commitment that we are getting out of, or that we are considering and realizing we want no part of it. And so we're figuring out how can we avoid signing on the dotted line. Why is the line dotted anyway? That must be an old saying. I think most of our lines now that we sign on for contracts are pretty solid. I'd be curious to know where that came from. All right, anyway, let's move on to readings, shall we? We're going to start with Aries. When there's a lot of energy shifting during a day, a lot of times it'll take me a little bit longer to shuffle down to the card that we need for overall or for each sign. So that's kind of going on. And these cards are acting crazy, trying to flip out big bunches of them. So that's another confirmation that we've got a lot of energy happening today. This is going to be a day of things going on. This is not going to be a normal ho-hum type of day. All right, so let's see. Aries, Nine of Swords. Aries, I think you're stressing out about a contract a contract or a commitment that you want out of. You may be stressing out about, how do I get out of it? How do I not sign on that line without letting people down? If you're just thinking about, oh, I don't know. I'm engaged to this person. I don't want to be married to them. How do I back out of that now? You know, the wedding is tomorrow. May not be that extreme, but definitely there's some stress about getting out of some kind of long-term contract or agreement going on for you, Aries. Boop-a-da-doo. Taurus. Every decision has repercussions. Boop-a-doo-doo-doo. Ten of Pentacles. Taurus, I think that we're doing something that is traditional, something that has a long history, but we're putting our own twist on it. We're doing it in our own way. And by doing that, whatever this is, even though we're doing it in our own way, it does bring us a sense of security in our lives. We like that. Next up, we're looking at Gemini. Two of Wands coming up in or right side up. Two of Wands for Gemini. This is interesting. Geminis, I think that you have something in front of you that you are going to be doing that is traditional. And I think that you have some choices about how to tweak it and make it more personal, how to do it a little differently, a little bit more in your style rather than in the ancient traditional style. So you've got some decisions about which way you want to go with this. And I think that you won't have any trouble making the decision. You have options. You have options there about how you want to tweak this and make it something that's more personal for you. And it is something that is traditional, that has a long history. Ba ba da da da, Cancer. Cancer. Eight of Swords. Eight of Swords. Cancers, you're really thinking about a long-term contract or commitment, and I think you're thinking in circles about whether you actually want to be involved in this or not. This just tells me that you can't figure out which side of the fence you're actually on when it comes to this contract or commitment. Or if you know that you don't want to be in this, you're having a hard time figuring out, how do I get out? There may be more than one way to actually get out of this. Some are going to be more efficient than others. Some are going to have bigger repercussions than others, but you're working on mentally, you're working on, how do I get out of this? And if so, how do I get out of this? Okay. Ba-bum, bum, bum, bum. Next, we're looking at Leo. Leo, Leo, Leo. Okay, Leos. Yeah. Seven of Wands coming up for you guys. Leos, I think you're standing up for yourself today on this idea that there's some kind of contract or commitment somebody else is wanting you to jump into. And I think you're standing up for yourself today and saying, no, thank you, I'll pass on that. You may be having to say this much more assertively than what I just did. Much more assertively is what I'm hearing. You're going to have to hold your ground. That Seven of Wands is kind of like playing King of the Hill. Like, I'm in charge of this little space and nobody else is going to tell me what to do here. Okay. So you may have to be assertively defending your ability or your authority to make this decision. Other people are going to want to push you. Boop, ba-do-do, or maybe just one other person. Doesn't have to be a lot of people. Who are we looking at now? This is going to be Virgo. You guys have the Three of Pentacles showing up here. Three of Pentacles for Virgo. Virgo, I think you have the opportunity to go into a long-term contract or commitment that has to do with, I'm actually getting two storylines. For some of you, this is going to have to do with collaborating with somebody else on something that is repetitive. So you may be looking at a long-term contract or commitment to work a booth at, I don't know, a farmer's market. They're like every week. And it looks to me like you're looking at this and you're saying, you know what, I don't want to do that. No. Mm-mm. And the other way that this is coming in, there's a different storyline as well for some of you Virgos. For some of you, this is about a long-term contract or commitment to learn something. So you may be looking at taking out a loan to go to school. And I think you're looking at this and you're going, you know what? No, I don't want to take out this loan to do this. I don't want to be committed to making this payment for God only knows how many years. So I think you're getting out of that contract or commitment that has to do either with learning something or with collaborating with somebody on a repetitive basis. Boop-a-doo-doo-doo. I'm going to say, actually, I think for most of you, this has to do with some kind of contract or commitment to learn something that you want out of. All right, let's see here. That was Virgo. Next up, we're going to take a peek at Libra. Libra. Okay, so Libras, we have, I guess I should show you the card, right? We have the star card showing up here. Star card for Libra. Libra, is this contract or commitment that you want out of? With this star card coming up here, this tells me that you have some kind of reason to hope that you're not even going to have to take action to get out of this. It kind of comes across to me that maybe somebody else is also saying they want out of this. And I think this is giving you a star card because that may mean that there's no penalty for you wanting out of it too. So, like, let's say for an example, and this isn't going to be true for everybody, this is just an example of this type of energy. But say that you're in a lease for some office space, and let's say that the owner of that office building would like to terminate the contract early because maybe let's say that they have somebody that's coming in that wants to lease like a whole floor and you just have like one office on this whole floor of this building. So they would like to terminate your lease early to be able to get this bigger client in there. And you also wanted to get out of the lease early, but you hadn't really said anything yet. So this could be somebody coming to you and saying, "Hey, I would really like to terminate your lease. It's in my best interest to do so. Um, are you able? Can we do this? Can we find some kind of resolution here?" Maybe they would even pay you to terminate the lease early rather than you terminating the lease early and you having to pay some kind of fee on that. So I think whatever this is, this contract or commitment that you went out of, I think somebody else wants out of it too. And I think that really nullifies any negative ramifications of you coming out of this. That's what I think is going on for you, Libras. All right, next up, let's look at Scorpio. That's really lucky, Libras. We like that. Scorpio, Scorpio, Scorpio. Okay. Two of Swords showing up in reverse, Scorpios. Boop ba da doo doo doo. So, Scorpios, there is some kind of contract or commitment that we're thinking, we're leaning towards the idea that maybe we want out of this, or maybe we don't want to enter into this if we haven't already gotten into it, but we're really undecided about it. With that Two of Swords in reverse, that's confusion, that's unable to make a decision. We haven't really decided for sure about this contract or commitment, whether we want to go out of it or not. I think we're debating it. Think we're debating it today, at least internally. We may not be talking to anybody about this, but I think internally we've definitely got some back and forth going on. Should I, shouldn't I? Should I, shouldn't I? All right, next up, let's look at Sagittarius. Sagittarius. Okay, we have the King of Wands here showing up for Sagittarius. King of Wands. That is you guys, really. Mhm. Hmm. So Sagittarius, whatever is this contract or commitment, that long-term contract or commitment that you want out of or that you realize you don't want to enter into after all, I think that the reason you don't want in it is because you're realizing that that's gonna getting into that or staying in this is going to keep you from attaining some of the goals that you have. It's going to hold you back or drag you down or slow you down. And so this is telling me that you are feeling very enthusiastic about getting out of this. You're pretty fired up about it. And you may be really weighing out all the options and, figuring out what's the best way for me to get out of this with the least amount of repercussions. I feel like I'm actually hearing one of you out there saying, I can't afford to stay in this contract or commitment. I just can't afford it. It doesn't allow me to move forward. I'm losing money by staying in it. Okay. And it doesn't have to be about money, but for somebody it is. Okay. For somebody it is. Somebody watching this video. All right. Next up, Capricorn. Let's take a peek at you guys. Capricorn, Capricorn. Capricorns. We're heavy on the wands today, guys. Knight of Wands in reverse. Boop-a-da-doo-doo. Wands have to do with enthusiasm and passion and feeling inspired. So, Knight of Wands in reverse is kind of the opposite of that. Not feeling very enthusiastic, not feeling very passionate or inspired, feeling some apathy, feeling some real apathy, not really taking any action. So, Capricorn, this is telling me that there's some kind of contract or commitment you do not want to be a part of. And I think because you don't want to be a part of, you're just kind of stalled out on the action. You're just not doing anything about it. So, where if you were to be involved in this contract or commitment, maybe it would take you doing some paperwork or putting forth some kind of hold or money on something. You're not doing that. You're just not doing it. I don't feel like you're telling anybody what's going on. I feel like you're just not putting forth the energy or the effort to go forward with this contract. That's your way of not pursuing this long-term contract or commitment. Okay. Next up, we're looking at Aquarius. Aquarius. So what do we have? Aquarius. Go. Another wand. Queen of Wands in reverse. I want to see, excuse me, but I just need to see. How many wands do we have today so far? We've got 11 cards down, not counting our overall. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the 5th wand. So we're running at almost 50%. Okay, so we had the King and the Knight, and now the Queen of Wands showing up in reverse. So, Aquarius, this contract or commitment that you're getting out of or that you don't want to join up with has to do with the idea of nurturing or uplifting somebody through your creativity and or your optimism. You're like, yeah, I don't feel the need to nurture or uplift you. That's a you thing. That's an inside job thing. I'm not going to do that. Just don't even have the energy for it. Okay, let's look at Pisces. Let's see if we make 50% on the wands. If Pisces is a wand, we're 50% wands today. And Pisces is a wand. Told you we're heavy on the wands. Page of Wands in reverse. So far, this is interesting. So far, the only wand court card, and we've got all 4 of them on the table, the only wand court card that came up right side up was the King of Wands coming up for, who was that? Sagittarius, which was a lot of energy about getting out of a contract or commitment. The rest of these are, I'm not putting energy into the contract or commitment to make it go. Now, let's look at Pisces, though, specifically with that Page of Wands in reverse. Basically, what you're doing is you have this contract or commitment you don't want any part of. You either want out of it or else you don't want to get into it, depending where you are in this situation. And so what I think is going on today is you are letting somebody know, listen, this is not for me. You're letting them know that today. A page is communication. This is a message of some kind. When we've got a Page of Wands in reverse, this is saying, look, I just don't I don't have the energy to be involved in this. It can be I don't have the money to be involved in this, or I don't want to spend the money to be involved in this. But it can also be I don't want to put my energy and effort into this. Either way. Okay. Either way. So that's what we've got for today, guys. That's what we've got today. We're working on getting out of some kind of contract or commitment. Doesn't look like it feels like a right fit for us. Um, yeah. I don't have anybody showing up as reverse on this, like, okay, well, yeah, I would like to actually get into one. Nobody is nullifying that. Everybody is working on getting out of this. There's a couple of us that are considering, should I not get out of this? But 10 of us are getting out. Getting out. All right, so that's what I've got for today. Thank you guys so much for being here and for continuing to support me and my channel. Remember, put a thumbs up if you feel like you benefited from this. Also, share it out to the world if you feel like other people could too. And of course, put your comments down below. I always love to read your feedback. And I am doing readings and Reiki sessions either on the phone or on the web today with a camera, like a camera call type thing. If you're interested in those, all you have to do is check out my website. That'll give you all the information that you need. And then all my contact information is there. Get a hold of me and we'll get you scheduled and taken care of. Quick, quick, quick. Everyone have a fantastic day. Peace out.